Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're in the world. My name is Dr. DAAM. This is Dr. DAAM Podcast, episode 56 on Mythical Status. This is a society podcast and the Mom Pop Podcast. So it's been over a week since I last filmed the podcast. Been busy. I've been traveling, so it's trying to play catch up with different tasks when you're home and different activities. Kind of have to put certain things in the back burner no matter how fun they are, such as podcasting. So that is my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. But I'm trying to be better at this. My goal is to get to episode 100 at least by June 1st, I should say. Try to do 50 episodes every 6 months. I think that's doable. My intent was to do more, but life happens at you fast, and you have to be adjusting, focusing on things that are coming at you, and you have to reprioritize and go from there. So, I want to talk about something called mythical status. I know we always talk about legendary status. I'm going to talk about legendary status. I'm going to talk about mythical status. So, I don't ever know if my hat is straight because for some reason my head is different sizes or whatever. So, when we talk, when society always references certain individuals, they also want the legendary status. Lebron James, the Michael Jordans, famous people like Martin Luther King Jr., Abraham Lincoln, Queen Elizabeth. They always, append the word legendary. The fact that they stand above the rest. They are once in a generation or twice in a generation kind of person. They are in the top 0.0001% of people to ever walk the face of this earth, or they have accomplished something that is beyond compare. And we always focus on the fact that what they've done cannot be replicated by others. And even if others try to replicate, they do it in a different way based on changes in time, changes in variables, changes in situation, and so forth. But they're usually the first ones to accomplish this task. Michael Jordan was the first player to go 6-0 in terms of NBA championships. I would say the people with him also went 6-0, like Scottie Pippen, so he was not the only one. But we always try to classify these folks into this one paradigm of legendary status. By the way, this may be a short podcast because I'm strapped for time, so maybe 10 minutes versus my usual 20 minutes, which is fine. I think I can get the message across in 10 minutes. As part of my growing and adjusting time scale, I'm trying to not be so prescriptive about the time. 20 minutes, maybe it can be 20 minutes, maybe shorter, to get the message across that I want to. But legendary is so often used. It's so consistently used because we have a tendency to look back at the ancient heroes of yore, like Hercules, I guess. They're legends. All the books are written about the legends of X, Y, and Z. But I think we need to give certain people a higher level. And I always found this interesting when I read a lot of RPG games, RPG books. they always focus on the fact there is beyond legend, there's myth, and there's a mythical status. Because that's how things go. There's S rank in Japanese lore, and then there's SS and triple S or SS plus. If you watch, drawing a blank with my favorite anime right now. So maybe because I'm tired, but I'll get back to it. But mythical levels are something that I think is worth exploring. The reason why this came to mind, I think if I'm going to aspire to anything, I want to aspire to a mythical level. I want to do things that may never be replicated by anyone. So even if it's in my mind that I've achieved a mythical status that nobody else knows, for me that's something of a win in life. But this is not about me. This is about others. And today, Steph Curry, actually yesterday at this point in time, scored 56 points, shot 12 threes. He went 12 for 19 on threes. Back in 2013, he had 54 points and 11 threes. And another point, he had 42 points and I think it was another 12 threes or whatever. So he's constantly had these multi-shooting games in terms of threes. And today, he shot 12 of 19 from three, scored 56 points. But what stuck out to me was when I was going through Twitter or X, and they brought up his stats in relation to other three-point shooters of his generation and before. Maybe it's mostly his generation, since three-point shooting at volume is something that became reality in the last 15 years when he essentially came into the league and began to shoot them at a rate never before seen and with a greater accuracy. So, if you look at the amount of folks who shot more than 9 3-pointers in a game, Steph Curry is the first person to break into triple digits. He has 100. I think it's a combination of both playoffs and regular season. But no one else is close to him. I think Dame Lillard has 12. The next person, Dame Lillard, is Steph's fellow Splash brother with 10. And you realize that calling this person legendary no longer suffices. His stuff will never be replicated. He's mythic. Maybe beyond mythic. I don't know what is beyond mythic, godly or whatever. They call him the greatest shooter to ever walk the face of this planet, which is likely true. Which is not, well, it's not even likely, it is true. And the fact that the guy has 100 games where he shot 9 or more 3-pointers, and the nearest person next to him, Dame Lillard, only has 12. There is no comparison. Those guys may go down as, great basketball players or pseudo-legendary basketball players, but Steph Curry's already on the Mount Rushmore of basketball players from my perspective. And that's mythical level, He's in the top 5 all time from my perspective. Because what he's doing will never be replicated ever again. And that's what a mythical status is. Something that will never be replicated ever again. And it's hard, staying at the fact that something will not be replicated again, but it's true. LeBron James, over 50,000 points of playoffs and regular season will never be replicated ever again. Especially the fact he started at 18 and he's now 40. 22 seasons of basketball. It's very, 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 very hard to get to 22 seasons of basketball. The wear and tear on your body is astronomical. Tom Brady will likely never be replicated. As a woman, Serena Williams will likely never be replicated in tennis. Based on the level of competition. Novak Djokovic at 25 may or may not be replicated ever again in terms of tennis. Those people have achieved mythical status. People who are prolific writers, who've written hundreds of books, will likely never be replicated ever again. So there's legendary and there's mythical. If you're going to aspire to something, shoot for mythical and you may hit legendary. Because if you don't aim to be the best at something, why are you going in that direction? And that's across our whole society. If you don't aim to be the best at something, why do it? It may be fun, but again, why do it? You should be aimed to be mythical in whatever you do. And even if you don't achieve mythical, you may achieve legendary. And folks will respect you for having made that accomplishment. And I think sometimes in society we undersell ourselves and what we can achieve. And for a guy like Steph Curry, who's 6'3", and usually basketball players who are phenoms like a LeBron James are somewhere between 6'5" and 6'10". They're considered optimal for the game they play, but Steph Curry has carved out a path on his own, where he has transformed the game of basketball. And that's what mythical people do. They transform the game. They transform the situation. They transform society. Martin Luther King Jr. is not a legendary figure. He's a mythical figure. Who has in the last 60 years, like not 60 years, right? So, yeah, 60 years or whatever, or 50 years, replicated what he has done, what he did. No one to date. All those who have aspired to follow his footsteps have fallen short, because the variables, the situation did not line up where they can achieve what he achieved. Or they don't have the skill set to do what he did. And remind you, he transformed society at the age of by the time he was age of 39. I'm 43. I don't have what Martin Luther King Jr. had. And I'm not afraid to say that. I don't have it. I don't have what a Barack Obama had when he ascended to the presidency at a rather young age in his 40s. I have something else. I have different gifts. And those gifts I will optimize for society, on behalf of society, on behalf of my family. And I think that optimization process, doing it over and over and over and over again to a higher level of perfection beyond belief, is what gets you to the legendary status. I'm sure Steph Curry, and I'm going to keep on return to Steph Curry, maybe may shoot about 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 basketballs a day from different angles, from different locations and so forth. That would bore me to death. But he has gotten so amazing in his craft that it's intuitive. In my case, when I write a paper or when I sit down to build a product in Excel, or some kind of visualization, it's pretty intuitive. My boss, the other day in Chicago, my upper boss, he was watching me and he said, "It's amazing how you do build those slides, build those things so fast and move things around so fast." And I said thank you, but I thought to myself, I didn't realize it was fast. I thought I was going slow. I thought I was making a lot of mistakes and errors that I can see. But you come to realize that once you've done something so well, so fast, so repetitive, I should say, not so fast, to others, it looks like you're moving at a speed of light. You are at a higher level of accomplishment. And you should take pride in that because you've worked hard. And mythical people like a Steph Curry, like a Michael Jordan, like a Lebron James, they work hard. Really hard. Similar to Martin Luther King Jr., Barack Obama. They have climbed the ladder. They have set themselves apart. They've made a strategic choice to become so good at what they do that no one can essentially touch them. No one can reach the plateau they have set. And that's a phenomenal achievement. And that's something to aspire to when you are thinking about what you can do in your life. How do I become mythical? How do I achieve that status? Legendary is achievable for many. I would say that. Mythical, only the few can get there. Only a tiny 0.0001% of the few can get there. And it's not by virtue of actually, it might be virtue of genetics. It might be virtue of genetics, in all honesty. But it's not by virtue of chance. Actually, maybe it is by virtue of chance also too. So, well, I guess a lot of things have to come together to help you achieve that mythical status. So I'm trying to create a good carve out, but I'm not seeing it in my mind because there's so many factors that leads to achieving that status, and it has to be perfect. It's like us being here in on this beautiful planet called Earth. It's myth made real. So many factors have to line up for us human beings to survive, to evolve, and to thrive on this planet and make it our own and creates great societies. So if you are going to seek greatness, seek to be the best you can be, seek to be mythical. Work hard, play hard, and focus in while also helping others. And I think that's the great thing about people who achieve mythical status. They've elevated others along the way. And those people next to them are considered legends. So continue to be focused, continue to be engaged, work hard, be repetitive in your craft, increase your acumen both emotionally and intellectually, and you too can achieve mythical status like a Steph Curry or LeBron James. My name is Dr. DAAM. This is the Dr. DAAM Podcast, episode 56 on mythical status. Please like and subscribe to my podcast. Have a great rest of your day. Be safe.